Open your mind. Your mind. Your mind. Your mind.
Let me see the fucking. Where's he at?
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion. Three PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Paul. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up the paper until you leave over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 42 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to protect it? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Factory Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind. Your mind. Your mind. Your mind. And peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, special guest tonight, the one and only M.O.T. is in the house for a one-on-one. This ought to be good. But Before we get started, y'all know I always like to start the show off with thanking you good folks who hang out there and the good folks who hang out in here. Because I understand that you don't have to watch these damn videos. You don't have to show up to these live streams. You don't have to like, you don't have to share or subscribe. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces and silver dollars. But you good folks choose to do so, man. You choose to do it. You're here night after night. You're hanging here with us, man, from beginning to end. And I want you to know that I don't take it lightly. I never have, and I never will. I want you to know, man, that I'm thankful, all right, for all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, views, and everything else. And of course, your hard earned coins. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative. And I'm going to tell you black asses this every night to show up here. I want you to know, man, that I appreciate you good folks, man, for hanging in there with the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. All right. All right. So let's get at it. Brother M.O.T is here. So let me bring in my folk.
Yeah.
M.O.T,
What's going on, man?
what's good with it, man? Glad you're here, man. I know you probably got a lot to say tonight. So let me start here. Here lately, I believe you've been on somewhat of a tear as far as YouTube is concerned. Um, I want to know what brought it on. Are you fed up with brothers? Are you just tired of BS? I mean, what is
Fed up with who? Brothers.
I,
You know
that's
this.
yeah. I said, are you fed up with brothers? Are you tired of the BS? I mean, what brought it on? It seems like you're on a bit of a tear here the
No,
last couple of months or so.
it's just that there's a lot of defective DNA that has infected the space. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it kind of started with retards thinking that they want to talk about politics. It started with other retards thinking that they can cite Black Lives Matter every 5 seconds when they don't even have an organization goal of themselves, not really understanding that that's a private organization that private people gave the money. I mean, we have, guys that you let on your platform, treason to MBD, Little Big Nate, we got these type of retards running through here, putting names in titles and going on screeds against liberals when everybody else's destination is actually liberal women, by the way, because
Mm.
none of these men actually qualify for the conservative women that they claim that they're for because they're never around the conservative women. So it's just a lot of nonsense that's going on around here. Yeah.
So
So
do you think, brother M.O.T, that do you think that it always comes down to the women, or is it more to it than that, in your
uh,
opinion?
oh shit, I don't give a shit about these women.
So do you think it comes down to the women for other brothers? Is that
Yes.
is
Yes,
that
there's a
the
lot of sex starved people around here. That's why they're wanting to talk to women online because they don't interact with women in real life. And you see what happens whenever they do get on panels with these actual women that they claim that they don't want. So, yeah.
hmm. So what do you think because you've outlined what the situation is.
Sure.
What is the solution to said situation that you talk about?
No, leave the women alone. Period. That's how you solve the issue. You solve the issue without the women. Yeah, what you do is the women had their 50 years of running the actual show and creating the entire huge mess that we have. So now we need a 50 years of male selfishness, of making sure men deal with cultured people and really not giving a shit about older black men who give a shit about pro-black. Because we got these outcomes here that don't nobody want to actually be in charge of. I mean, because the relationship conversation is over. with Bill Gates getting a divorce, Jeff Bezos getting a divorce, Kanye West getting a divorce, Dr. Dre getting a divorce, and so all these grifters that like invaded the actual space of YouTube to sell fake answers to real problems. I mean, it's over for them too, kind of. So it's just that we got fake street people, you got fake consultants, all types of things around here that just don't need to. And like in its corporeal form, most older black men aid and abet this bullshit that goes on around here. There's no real organization and dumb shit around here. I mean, like most of these people don't have a platform without talking about this woman. They don't have a platform. They don't have a platform without the culture warrior stupid shit. They just don't. And that's just where we're at. And I'm just saying, look, I mean, if you're with an unfeminine reptile today, like, dude, I have no respect for you as a human being. Anybody laying down this generalized respect for unreformed people and this fucking hoe in this society, dude, I have no respect for you. None. And it's just that you have to speak this plainly so that way you can be able to separate the men from the boys, so that way you can have the bitch ass niggas on one side and you can have the people who actually want progress on the other. But you have to understand that there's not that many people who want progress without this woman being actually part of the progress that they're actually working for.
So do you think that the discussions up here should be more about financial outcomes, social economic outcomes?
No. I mean, you could do that on an individual basis, but that's just not where the views are. But it's just that you have to understand that we have people who are literally waiting around talking about economic empowerment when they're not even part of the shit themselves. Like, they haven't taken a side. They don't have a political party. They're not even organizing. They're not even doing shit. And all of a sudden, we hearing gynocracy every 5 fucking seconds. Every 5 seconds, we responding to Kevin Samuels videos and stupid shit like that because black men ain't got no goddamn originality. But we seem to be want to be up the ass of the fucking women, but we don't want to build our own power for ourselves for some reason.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here for a minute.
Sure.
Now, what if, the people that you're referring to, what if they said, well, look at brother M.O.T, obviously a successful businessman economically, obviously an intelligent man, an entrepreneur, plenty of money and all that kind of stuff. You're here and you're talking and you're not building. You're not putting brothers on. You're not helping brothers out, investing in brothers and so on and so forth.
These are not brothers, by the way. These are fucking bitches. And you don't help bitches who want to bring this black woman back into the fucking fold. These niggas ain't no fucking black men. These men right here? No, dude. They trying to qualify for a higher rung in the goddamn sexual state of black America. That's why I don't put niggas on. I don't put niggas on who want to keep interacting with this hoe, which seems to be most of these fucking men anyway. Now, if you're a SYSBM cat, yeah, I talk to them people behind the scenes. We do business, but most of these dudes that have this black woman as the actual outcome, I could tell by the way that they fucking act and how they ask for opportunities and help. Yeah, I do help people. I just don't want to help people whose end goal is rebuilding this black family with this fucking bitch here domestically. Oh, I'm not helping nobody like that. I'm not working with nobody like that. No. So yes, I do put people on, but these people got the right type of mind state. But if I find out that you fucking around one of these reptiles, then I'm firing your ass and getting rid of your motherfucking
ass. Wait a minute, M.O.T.
Yes, I do.
You got a brother working for you, and you'll fire him just because he's got quote unquote
reptile. Yes, right. If you're a fucking stepdad, don't have a fresh woman on you, and this bitch is disrespecting you while she's spending my fucking money that I pay you, nigga, fuck you.
Wow.
Go back to being broke. Yes. Economic quarantine.
I hire people too, but I ain't that ruthless, man.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, MOT. Wait a minute, man. Isn't that a little
Yes.
a bit of a reach into a
Oh,
person's personal life? Now, if I come to
fuck
work for you,
them.
I do what you I do what I'm supposed to do on the job, but because you don't like my lady, I get fired.
Hey, listen. Here's the thing, man. I never dated a dude who fuck around with one of these reptiles who don't bring that reptile shit into my fucking business in one
Mm,
shape, form, of another.
okay.
You really think
Okay.
fucking around with these circumstances have a zero sum? It never causes any problems? Period? No. If she like
Okay.
dumbass fucking idiots who are fucking dumb as shit, it's gonna be a matter of time before that fucking bitch ass attitude start to show in my fucking business. It's gonna end up costing me fucking money. So I might as well just go ahead and just get your ass up out of here before you cause problems. I have a lot of experience with these type of niggas. Trust me.
Yeah, I get it.
Too much.
I've ran into some of that stuff myself. I mean,
Yes.
it does have a tendency to spill over from time to
Yes, it
time. It
does.
will spill over into the job and cause you to show up late and all kind of
Absolutely.
nonsense.
Ah,
I get it.
yeah. Yeah,
I
you
get
want
it.
all this
I
time
get it.
off for kids that ain't even yours, man? Fuck
Yeah.
you. Fuck
And
out of here.
she at the shop raising hell over something that's going on at y'all house and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I've seen it myself, so I know where you're
Yeah, I
coming
mean,
from there. I know
I
where you're
keep
coming
telling
from there.
people once the law or the government enters your relationship for any shape, form, or fashion, your relationship is over. You should move on. But
Mm.
since black women have set up this environment where men will fuck anything that moves because they still want this mythical dumbass black family concept and shit, that they just stay in unimaginably bad fucking circumstances rather than just move on to another group of fucking people like I've done. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, let me jump over to here because the last year or so, and I'll go back as far as the killing of George Floyd. We'll go from the killing of George Floyd up until the Chauvin trial. Now, a
Oh, okay.
lot happened in between that, right? We had an election, we had marches, and
Yeah.
protests, and
Yeah.
riots, and every damn thing else happened
Hmm.
between those two events. Do
Yeah.
you
Police
think
were
that?
out there rioting too. That they didn't really
Yes,
follow up on that story, and the also the like the the wannabe conservatives, especially the black ones in this space, they didn't cover any of that shit either. So
hmm. So, do you think the events that happened in between, the George Floyd killing and the Chauvin trial, all the stuff that happened in between it, the elections and all that kind of stuff, and the protests and marches, do you think that kind of had an effect on not just society in a whole? We know it had an effect on society, but did it have an effect on people on media? Did you see people on media kind of changing one way or the other? Were battle lines drawn?
correct. Yeah, there were because normally when these circumstances happen, especially with the police shit, there's normally the like Billy Broad, the guy who actually testified for the actual defense. It's usually him on TV slandering and justifying the police behavior. I'm talking about on network television, not just in the courtroom. You would normally have like union presidents going out slandering the actual person. None of that happened this time. And what people need to understand is that this is one of the very first times where the chief of police, the head of the homicide division, pretty much the police came out to testify against this guy. Normally, the police just don't even participate in the investigations, which is why the investigations never take place in the first place. So this was different because they actually did testify this time around. So that is what was different. And I'm not sure if you're paying attention, but cops are getting locked up all around the country now that the Chauvin trial's up. A lot of people going into these old cases, digging into the crates, looking at this crazy stuff, and they're starting to make sure the justice system actually worked the way it's supposed to work. So yeah, it's been an effect on the police. This is why I don't give a shit about their opinion, and I don't really give a fuck about cowardly cops and how they complain about how hard their fucking job is. Dude, I'm a truck driver when I want to be. And guess what? That hard job is a hell of a lot harder than being a goddamn cop. And guess what? Nobody conscripted me to be a truck driver, just like nobody conscripted you to be a goddamn police officer. You don't have Army soldiers, Air Force Airmen, Navy SEAL, I'm sorry, Navy Seamen, or Marine of the Marine Corps who go around complaining about how hard their job is and that their job is so hard that they have to commit a felony to get home at the end of the day. And you got to allow this unconstitutional bullshit to go on so that way you can have basic policing. Hell no, it's fucking bullshit. I mean, and it was always bullshit. And I say you should charge everybody who have those opinions with obstructing justice every single time. You should be charging prosecutors and judges and the people who don't want to testify from the police department, all types of things, because they are literally obstructing justice. So it took them years to release the Laquan McDonald tape. And the one
Yeah.
that they released did not have the guy shooting the dude 16 times on it because it would have looked it crazy that the dude was basically walking in the street and he shot him 16 times.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff is out of control. That guy didn't look concerned at all in that courtroom. He thought he was just going to walk. But this is
Yeah.
where you are with it, man. It's crazy.
Well, speaking of police, let's talk about what went down on January 6th. Because there were a few police who were part of that storming of the Capitol. I believe a couple cops in New York City found themselves arrested and taken into custody because they were part of the rally. So when you talk about, police corruption and police killing folks and things of that nature, do you think that all of that's a part of it? Did all of that kind of build up and kind of contribute to the storming of the Capitol?
No, no. Those people were storming the Capitol. I mean, in all their interviews, it's because of a perceived loss of power within society, thanks to them voting for the Republican Party. That's what that was about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the president and like the three right wing media sources, along with AM Talk Radio, gaslit them into thinking that the election was stolen when it clearly wasn't. They did the recount as the count. There was really no reason to go out there and disrupt the proceedings. I mean, they did exactly what they did because they thought there was going to be a pardon for it. Because they seen their president get away with a whole bunch of stuff during this presidency. They just thought they was going to walk in and they was going to get this Roger Stone, Michael Flynn type treatment, where they was going to go do that stuff and he was going to get a generalized pardon from the president. And it turned out they just turned over on him.
yeah, because I believe as it stands now, about 400 people have been taken into custody and or arrested. So they're not getting away with that. Well, let me ask you this: do you think that because of the storming of the Capitol, combined with the marching, the protesting, all these things, do you see a turnaround? Do you think there's going to be changes from the federal level down how America operates as far as policing, laws, legislation, a crime bill, so on and so forth? Do you think that these rallies, this storming of the Capitol, these protests, are these things going to have an effect going forward?
Yeah, because there's one group of people who want to keep things the same, the conservatives who don't see a problem with the way things work, and then you have the more liberal Republicans. That's what Joe Biden is, to be quite clear with you, and that's what you have right now. So that's what you have right now.
Now, you've been heard, brother M.O.T. You've been heard saying you want brothers out of the space, you want them out of here, you want them gone. What do you mean when you say that, brother? What do you mean by gone? Like, please expound on that, brother.
Gone? Like, listen. Most of these dudes are parasites. They just like bitches. They don't build anything. They just try to smother out a concept that they didn't build. This is why you got all the people who are normally sitting on the front porch in their front yard without jobs online acting like they're goddamn gurus. So when I'm talking about get them out of here, it's like, dude, listen, man, just return to your goddamn porch and get the fuck offline with your dumbass ideas and your second grade education and your fifth grade fucking speaking intellect and trying to come out here and fucking act dumb as shit so that way you can net yourself a goofy ass fucking reptile. That's what they want to do. That's why they're here. They want to disrupt conversations. Don't add anything to the conversation. Don't don't cover shit. Don't read shit. Don't Google shit. Simple shit. But have their mouth open about all kinds of shit. Like you can't have people this fucking dumb in the goddamn space. You just can't. I mean, you do, but that's what happens when the digital divide start giving internet connections to people who only had enough ability to fog a goddamn mirror. So that's all it is.
So, but brother M.O.T, there's
Yeah, I
no
don't give a fuck
real,
about their opinion.
but there's no real way to keep anyone from saying anything, or especially when it comes to stuff like the media, internet, YouTube, Twitter, etc. There's no way to really keep people out, is it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, any group got to have rules. Like if you want to be part of the manosphere, like don't nobody want to hear about what what fat black woman you still fucking with because you are fucked up in the head. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. These
But
bitches cause you all these fucking problems. You niggas are still talking about them. Like I don't get how that works.
but I
I
mean,
laugh. I laugh.
how do you, well, you can control your own page. I mean, you can say,
Oh
okay,
sure. Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want these
sure,
dudes
sure.
on here,
You
and you
know,
don't have to listen to certain people.
yeah. I mean, listen. Just keep your ass on Art of Ipmore. Keep your ass on BGS's channel and stay your ass on Art Newstall's channel. And don't go nowhere the fuck else. Those are the three spaces where you can go to be completely full of shit and unlearn and hop your ass on the panel and say some stupid ass shit. And nobody checks you for it. That's all I'm saying. It's not hard. No, just stay
but
your ass in the dumb nigga zone. That's it.
but brother MOT, I'm gonna play devil's advocate again.
Sure.
Now, someone can say, well, we
Sure.
don't want brothers like MOT talking. We don't want brothers
Sure.
like MOT in
Yeah,
the
successful
space.
black man who
So,
got his own shit, who don't let black women fucking run him and shit. Sure. Of course. Kick me out the manosphere. Go right ahead. That's why they
well,
never hit
I
the
don't think
fucking league.
anybody's gonna go. I don't think
Unless you're
anybody's
Laro
gonna go
and then
that
you're blocked.
far. I don't think anybody's gonna go that far. You've been around too long and you're too
No,
well
I mean,
known.
yeah, I mean, but you would look completely stupid trying to remove productive men from a space that was supposed to have men get their shit together. Like it was these fucking idiots, along with these older black men that I just brought up earlier, that kept the space open and okay for dumb niggas to walk in here. That's why you have G's with a PhD. You have niggas who claim that they're ex pimps. You have dumb niggas who coming up with diesel systems for you to deal with goofy bitches that you can leave alone. Dumb niggas who are saying that the gender war is over, but still doing content based on the exact fucking gender war that he claim is over. Like none of this shit makes any fucking sense. And nobody trusts these motherfuckers in society. This is why they have to be around broken children. Because they definitely can't come around men like me, because we would never accept the fucking behavior of dumb niggas like this. Like if you can't bring a productive track record with you, and the only thing you have, like most of those people that I just named, the grand majority of them, it's very clear that they never be around productive men. They're just like the goofy black bitches here. They're only around dumb niggas who can easily be fucking swayed by the thought of pussy. Not actual pussy, the thought of pussy, the like hearts from it and shit. So, yeah, man, most of these dudes are just pieces of shit. Clearly. You know, no don't have a side picked, mouth open about politics, don't know shit, dumb niggas voting for Kanye West, old niggas, Gnostic niggas who are out here trying to poison the black pill. with his goddamn bullshit, knowing goddamn well that a black woman is the only thing that he's ever fucking netted in his goddamn life. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm sick of seeing it.
Well, let me ask you this:
Sure.
who do you like in the in
I like
on the
everybody
internet?
outside of those people I just named.
every, you like everybody except them.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm gonna say, right? I have a
Yeah.
lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for you, brother. All right. And just like anybody else on the internet, I don't always agree with you 100%,
No,
but
you shouldn't.
I have a lot of respect for the things you say. I have a lot of respect for, some of your concepts and ideas. Now, I'm just speaking
Yeah.
for myself. Now, other brothers may not feel that way. Do they have a right to disagree with you? Do they have a
Sure.
right to disagree with your ideas?
Sure. They can. They can.
So, okay, that being said, do you feel like those disagreements should be aired in the so-called quote unquote space?
Sure. Like there's no competent person who have refuted my fucking points. There's no competent person who've done that. There's no competent person who have a better plan other than SYSBM. There's no competent man who has that here. These dudes joined the manosphere. They wasn't even fucking with hoes talking about game. They wanted to spread the idea of women's legs being further apart so that way they can end up with pussy. That's why all these dudes came here. Yeah, that's what it is. It's not hard to figure out. Listen,
And
man.
it's
If you're not a complete retarded guy, or if your name is not Laro, yeah, I pretty much talk to anybody. Yeah, but I want to get to an actual result where we're not cleaning up the current mess that's right now that's in Black America. I think that's dumb and crazy. I think you should chase down people and have horrific things happen to them. The people who continuously want to talk about how much they believe in marriage, especially with Bill Gates getting divorced. Now we don't need that shit happening.
so is that the crux of it? Do you think that certain people that come, onto media, do you think that they are they coming in under nefarious pretenses? Do you think that they're just coming in to mislead people, manipulate people? I mean, what is it about them coming into the space that bothers you the most?
Yeah, it's like if I met AB Media, I wouldn't have a problem pushing them down a fucking escalator, especially if it's going up. I would push them back down like the opposite fucking direction so you can hit all the steps going to the bottom of the shit. But other than that, it's like this, man. Most of these people here are pieces of shit that don't nobody listen to in their regular fucking life. And the digital divide was supposed to keep these clowns out of this, off the fucking internet. But now they're here sticking up the fucking joint because it's a lot of failed niggas out here, man. A lot of them. It's actually the grand majority of the black race is nothing but these stupid ass motherfuckers. No track record, no work ethic, hang out all day and all night talking about mythical fucking bitches. Just, just, ugh.
Well, let's let's talk about the title of this here, actual black progress. Where
Yeah.
does that begin?
It begin with you separating from this domestic woman. That's where it starts. And also staying away from the men who actually push the actual information that try to guide you back into this domestic woman. That's the first thing. Because,
Okay.
and the second thing is going to be being a productive citizen and not giving this shit back to this domestic woman or the guys who have a career field based on the domestic woman. Now, those things are pretty simple to do, but the practicality is hard because, like I said, you have probably like 98% failed nigger rate within Black America that's surrounded by 2% of productive black men. So they're kind of socialized into thinking that it is their job and responsibility to get their shit together and somehow put on the other 98% of failed people around them. We have a high ass churn rate per child within Black America that everybody seems to be okay with because ain't nobody started dealing with different women as of yet, but they still keep pumping kids into the actual domestic counterpart and the merry band of silence that actually helps them within society. So I don't understand why we can't just accomplish simple things.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
yeah, right.
so you are SYSBM, right? Or are
Yes,
you part of it? Okay.
yes,
So being said, you're SYSBM.
sure.
So that means that you don't have a problem with brothers, being with the white women,
Yeah, I
Latino
don't care.
women,
I don't
Asian
care.
women. Doesn't bother you at all.
No, I mean it's more of a cultural aspect because like most of these dudes who act like bitch ass niggas within this space, you see they operate just like a black woman, and they think that since they operate like a black woman, they become one of the quote unquote girlfriends when that's just clearly not the case. Haven't netted them the amount of success that it actually nets them. So that's how that works. I want to leave this whole culture behind, and I just think we should just move along from it. I mean, we just should let AB Media just have these type of women that he keeps acting a goddamn fool for. So
Wow. And y'all
yeah,
hit that goddamn like button. God damn it. If you don't like me, at least you gotta like brother M.O.T, you lazy Negroes. Um, so let's stick with the SYSBM thing.
yeah,
Now,
there's nothing wrong with
do,
SYSBM.
do do you think that is that part of the answer for some actual black progress for brothers to not be getting with the quote unquote reptiles that you talk about, that they should be getting with other women and making families with them
Yes,
instead?
yes,
That would be part of actual black progress.
yeah. That is the only black progress, by the way.
So
That is the only black progress.
you're talking about creating a different class of black people now, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
And not
And
hiring. And I'm talking about genetically redlining these motherfuckers out of existence.
okay.
Yes,
So if we're talking about another class
yes,
of black people, that means this class that you say are reptiles or whatever, they're
sure.
just gone. They're just out of here. They're not part of this new class of people. They can't even be integrated in at that point,
No,
right?
no. Like what they're gonna do is they're gonna be living in the UBI zone, so that way you can set up stores and everything else around their sad little lives and actually get all of their UBI money. So like, they're not gonna go broke, by the way. They're not gonna
Mhm.
do that. They're just not gonna produce enough to leave the UBI zone. So, they'll just be free money. You could just go and just own all the stores around them and just put people of different races in there. Don't put black people in there. They don't like those people. So, they don't touch other races of people. So that's all you need to do. It's really not that hard.
So if we got this new class of
Sure.
black folks,
Yes.
what happens to the old class of black folks?
I don't give a
Besides, you
shit
said,
about them. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. I don't
so
give a shit about their fate. No.
they can just all fall off a cliff. Is
No,
that
I mean,
what you're saying?
I don't want them to fall off a cliff. I need to make money off of them. I don't want them dying.
Okay, so these will be the universal
Basic
income people,
income
right?
people.
The
Yes.
universal basic
Yes.
income people.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the actual progress would take place with the SYSBM brothers
Yeah.
who have married, I guess, women from other countries, whites,
Uh,
Latinos,
sure.
and
Sure.
so on and so forth.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Now, black folks are not going to like that, brother
I don't give a
M.O.T.
shit
with
about
this
what they
thing up
like.
here
I
today.
mean, they don't even like Black Twitter. Come on, man.
They don't even like black Twitter. But okay, fine. All right, I'll go along with that. You say that because I've heard this before. I've heard this argument before from other
Yeah.
people where they say brothers should go ahead, start families with other kind of people, raise up different kind of children under a different kind of system with a different state of mind, and
Correct.
just a different outlook on life and get them away from the ghettos and the crime and the dope and the drugs and all this other kind of nonsense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Like here's the thing. Before you finish that, now what I'm saying is that also putting it under a religion, because a religion is protected biases. This is
mhm,
why you have your protected biases through religion. You got to have a religion that ties it and holds it together. I know it's going to take a lot of money, but to have the best protection in the world, you got to spend a lot of money to protect your actual power. So that's the thing. And the greatest amount of control bias within this country is religion. So you can have your actual outcomes being protected by actual religion, and that's something that it's not only doing that, but kind of like me. I'm with somebody from the Muslim faith. She acts a fool. I call Habib. He kills her. That's how that works. You get honor killed if you step out of line way too far. You go to another person for like protection, they come after your motherfucking ass. That's what I like. Consequences and results. A minimum desired level of participation, and I have a very specific, very predictable outcome. Yeah. So you don't have people who socialize into being onto the work environment or the sexual marketplace forever. That's really ridiculous way to operate like that. But yeah, that's not hard. Like I got fixes and answers for all this kind of stuff.
mm. So how do we solidify is this whole SYSBM thing? I mean, how do we solidify economic progress? Because that's a big thing. We got to have some economic progress as well. How do we
Yeah.
solidify that? How do we do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. But like, if you raise your kids within an environment that is about productivity and not actually trying to chase the domestic woman around the actual sexual cosmos, which is Black America, you can actually get a lot of stuff done if you have a plan, if you socialize into it early enough. But it's just that the families that are created now, regardless of whether it's black or white under the American system, I mean, you're going to be, they can walk out whenever they want to. They can kind of do whatever they want to. Like, there's no social contract here. The social contract is broken because one side decides to leave. And me, I want some guarantees and some outcomes. Now, now you have a whole lot of bitch ass niggas who don't want you to have outcomes because they want your girl to be sexually able to walk away from you for whatever reason. A lot of bitch ass niggas push that type of bullshit around, which doesn't happen in any other culture. But a lot of stability within an environment leads to progress. Stability leads to progress. That is what it's supposed to lead to. So I say this: you kick out the black woman, you leave most black men the fuck alone, who actually still want to negotiate with this person in their current condition. Now, who I'm actually leaving out is all the decent black women who already know how to act. There's really not that many of them. You know who you are. You need to start yourself a little fucking focus group and have a little bat signal in the sky and all that kind of shit. But this is what I'm talking about. So this is why when you start working from the household, getting a household together, and stop trying to get the race together, you have a very good investment on the one-to-one basis when you start from the household out. Because the black woman is not part of the actual household. You temporarily be part of the household. Then she kick your ass out whenever you act like you're not under her leadership. And then she show you who a true alpha is, which is the actual government. So
Hmm. Yeah, but well, she can only do that if she's in a position to do so. I mean, if you're in that position where
I
that
know
can
most.
happen, you're
Hey, listen,
you're
listen, listen.
already
Most
you're
black men,
already messed up in the game.
I know most black men are stupid as shit. They're still talking to them today, trying to get them to fucking surrender and shit. Yeah, like surrender all this power that you didn't have to work for and you benefit from to
Mhm.
get less of that from a guy. It's not. This shit's not gonna happen. But guess what? Selling the hope is an actual product. It's like M&Ms or Skittles or anything else. It's something that you know that you're eating that is not going to lead to a good result, but you do it any goddamn way. So
Well, isn't that part of it though? That a lot of brothers are in the quote unquote position that you speak of. So isn't that part, if not most of the problem, the part that the fact that brothers don't really have the quote unquote power, they don't have the leadership role, they're not in a position where, they can't be put under the gun, by a woman. Isn't that part of the problem too?
No, I mean leaving bitches alone. It's the solution. Like you got to be able to get your shit together to where you don't share any of your resources with these people in the environment. You just leave them alone. I know that's very hard for people to think about because it's such a simplistic solution that's not being solved with the very amount of sex that you're trying to get them not to have, but it's just that easy of a solution. To be quite honest with you.
Hmm. So if a man is, I don't know, in that position under the gun or whatever you want to call it, you think he has do you think he has more power if he just jumps up and just goes and, I don't know, lives in a tent for a month till he gets himself together? Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey man, whatever you have to do, but you can't give it away to the wrong people and you can't celebrate it with the wrong people. I mean, because we've had the self improvement kind of mantra be hijacked by people who want you to appeal to a woman's everything. And it's like
Mm.
you're supposed to self improve and then you're supposed to give it away to the people who never respected and improved specimen in the first place. I don't know, man. It just seems kind of ri- ridiculous. But, but who am I? You know?
Well, I know that, you know, I'm a true believer in, brothers winning. I think brothers should do whatever they need to do to put themselves in a position to win, whatever that is. Um, and I've said this many, many times before, and a lot of people don't like it. The whole SYSBM thing, isn't new to me. I mean, I have 5 grandchildren and 3 of them are biracial, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my sons, are with women of other races. So that it's not new stuff, man. I had like a
No.
15-year-old granddaughter, so I've seen this stuff for a long time. So it's nothing new to me. Um, but a lot of people have a hard time dealing with it.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
care
know if
about that. Yeah.
I don't
Well,
I
those
don't I
people,
don't know if it's fake loyalty to the race or
it is fake
uh
loyalty. It is.
I don't know what it is, but I think that's the crux of the argument, because when we have these type of conversations, the first thing people accuse you of is being disloyal to the race. You're a traitor, you're a
Yeah.
coon, you're a this, you're a that.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah. Well,
uh
there was a disloyalty to the race portion. It was called 1970 to 2020. 50 years of being disloyal to the concept of the black family. So I can give a
mhm,
shit less about what somebody think about me going to get my individual happiness when the previous generations did not culture the women appropriate enough to respect men with actual resources and shit to bring to the table. So the actual time period that actually was the actual traitorous time period was the 1970s to 2020. You know, it's a 50-year track record of not respecting male leadership and bound down to and actually half-assedly serving bitch ass niggas, which created the actual problem that we see today. This is why I say you have to solve it without the women. You got to have a 50-year track record on focusing on nothing but the men. I'm not trying to bring nobody back to the table. I'm trying to leave the fucking table alone and stay away from it and get my individual outcomes that work for me, and not really worried about older black men who want to tie your actual masculinity to a woman's opinion of you, even though their opinion is already not even that highly of you in the first place, thanks
mm,
to her culturing within the actual environment here.
wow. So do you think that the reason for many brothers not being able to kind of achieve a degree of financial freedom, economic freedom, social economic freedom is because of the women they are tied to?
Yes.
whether those women be the women they're dating
Yes.
or
Yes. Yes.
their
Yes.
parent, I should say. So all of that is combined, right? It's all part of one thing, right?
Yes. Like everything comes down to pleasing, providing for, or just simply trying to get the respect of this domestic person. Like people don't join gangs because they need protection from the hood. They do it to get bitches. Simple. Like most of these dudes didn't sell all those fucking drugs because they really needed to make money. They did it to buy shit to get more bitches. That's why they did this shit. Yeah, it's like most of the gang fights are about dudes stunting on other dudes because of bitches or being caught in another hood that he's not supposed to be in because he's trying to fuck a woman that he knows he shouldn't be messing with. So that's what most of this stuff is about. It revolves around the same product. And that's what happens when you've been starved out to the point to where you accept anything. And the actual woman knows that you will accept anything from the first beginning. This is what makes her have even less and less actual respect for men inside the environment, no thanks to how easy it is to actually get with a man within the environment. So you have to understand it from her specific point of view too, to understand why the disrespect is real. And we know certain people ain't being quote unquote rewarded by winning. They're making up stupid, silly shit like I got enough game and just all this other undefined, crazy, goofy bullshit to fucking justify being in stupid ass circumstances that don't mean them no any fucking good.
Well, let's talk about bunk beds. Because
Yeah,
you're one of the people who y'all believe you coined that
yeah,
term. What's behind the whole bunk bed analogy, if it is
yeah.
an analogy?
Listen. Hey man, look, I don't want a good disaster to go to waste, right? And it's obvious that the government are not going to let these people fail. So, bunk beds, nigga, shit, UBI, give them a place to stay, and they're able to have a minimum level of economic activity, and they're just taken care of. Because the government's not going to let these people fail. They're never going to do that. So, most of these older women, and dude, listen, man, it's going to be a housing crisis. There's not going to be enough bunk beds I'm going to be able to produce to house everybody. So that's what that is, man. Like a lot of these people, they're at the end of their rope. They thought that they was going to have this stepdad of tomorrow to come in and actually pick up the actual pieces and try to cure their actual problem when it was actually them who put themselves in these circumstances in the first place.
So should uh should we be having these bunk beds in our houses? And
Yes.
how many of them should we have, brother
As
MOT?
many as it takes. I hope UBI doesn't put them in such a good condition. I don't care, man. It's just at the end of the day, these people they gotta live somewhere. Got them in a
Hmm.
nice UBI zone that's ran like a prison colony, and I own all the stores and I control all the economic activity. And guess what? They got there by being non-productive. So yeah, so that's what you got.
So if we're going to have this bunk bed a situation or this bunk bed crisis, if you will, who are the people who are going to be, because someone has to be responsible for these bunk bed immigrants, if you will. I mean, someone's going to have to be responsible for them. They're going to have to be around some type of person with some degree of responsibility to have, all these bunk beds or whatever. Who should that be? Who should that be?
Um, no, I disagree. These people they don't want to live in society anyway. Like that's how you get there. You get there by not managing your cooch clock correctly and staying around the wrong type of men. So now you escort yourself in the UBI zone. You know you can get skills and abilities and clearly produce more than what's given for free. But if you don't want to do that, there's a nice minimum level of survival for you. So nobody's really responsible for them but them. They can get out of that shit whenever they want to. Most of these people get big ass EITC checks at the end of the year. They can invest that money into other shit and other situations. They just choose to stay there.
So you believe that there's redemption for some people then. That means you believe in some degree of redemption, right?
No, you're gonna have to work for redemption.
Mm,
I know you're redeemed because you left this circumstance alone and
mm.
you want to do something else differently.
You left the bunk bed camp.
Yes, and you didn't
Well,
bring and you didn't bring the uncultured person with you. That's how I know you learned your lesson.
yeah, well,
Now, if you have
that
not
would
learned
be
your lesson,
redemption. That would be redemption, right? They want to get out of the bunk bed camp. They want to
yeah,
do more shit with their life. They ready to get their shit together. So that would be redemption, right?
it depends. If they want uncultured Keisha to join the fray, then hell no, then you go back to the bunk bed camp.
You
We're
come
not
out
having
of the
your ass out here.
you get your shit together, you leave the bunk bed camp, but you gotta leave bomb Quisha there. You
Correct.
can't bring her with you. Okay.
No.
Now that I understand. I get that. I understand that. Because if you're going to redeem yourself and you're going to get yourself together, you're going to get yourself together, you can't now bring people who have not got themselves together because that defeats the whole purpose, right? That
Yeah, it
defeats the
does.
whole damn purpose. All right, that I understand. I get that totally. I'm a true believer that a lot of times your environment uh kind of dictates your thinking. Your thinking dictates your behavior, and of course, your behavior dictates your outcomes. So I'm with you there. I'm
Sure.
with you there totally. But okay, let's talk about environments then. A lot of people are in an environment where not that I'm making excuses for them, because you know me, brother M.O.T, I don't do that shit. But there are a lot of people in environments where it's poverty, they don't have no money, they grow up without a daddy, their
Yep.
mama on dope, the schools are horrible, and they're
Yep.
barely there because their mom is on dope. Should we put those people under the same scrutiny? Should we put those people under the same microscope as the people who may not have necessarily come from that, but they've come to the same outcomes? Because that is a possibility. That happens where, you have some people who may not have necessarily, grew up in, some ran down hood in Detroit or Chicago or New York. They may not have grown up in that, that environment, but a lot of them have the same outcomes as the people who did. So should we look at those people who grew up in those screwed up environments with a crackhead mama and horrible schools, and they lived in the projects and ate roaches a couple days out the week? Should we put those people under the same microscope?
Um, I mean, at some point, those people can reach out for help because they can see obviously people doing better than them, and they should want to join, their team and want to
Hmm.
participate in society and vote and actually want to stay current on things. But if you still have helmet level outcomes where you're just gonna be on YouTube talking about crazy shit because you got a fucking internet connection and can't nobody really shut you the fuck up, then no, there's no hope for you. Bunk beds, nigga. Second generation bunk beds, nigga.
Bunk beds. Oh my goodness. But see, this is the thing. This is because, like I said, some people just, they just squander, they squander their damn life, and they squander their opportunities. But the people who grow up in bad environments, who necessarily, want more, want better,
Yeah.
I don't know if they should be. I don't think they should be put under the same microscope as a person who had opportunities and screwed it up, as opposed to a person, um, who never had the opportunity and is trying. I think those are two different people. I
I
think those are
think
two
that
different.
people should have grants to move if they want to move to a better life. Yeah,
Hmm.
like I mean, like opportunity is becoming far more reachable than it ever has been. Only thing you have
Hmm.
to do is move from like rural Mississippi to like even a bigger city in another area. Pretty soon you figure out that damn, look at these opportunities. Now I need to do some real shit because even though I got opportunities, now I need to get some skills so that way I can really be able to succeed in life. But then, you have this kind of problem where, they've been thirsted out the environment because, they haven't been able, haven't been able to be around cultured women who actually respected men. So now they got to be around uncultured Keisha, and uncultured Keisha is actually pretty normal to them because their mother is an uncultured Keisha too. So now it becomes a very predictable outcome for them to end up with the same type of person who they love the most, which is their goddamn mama. So
Mm.
listen, man, it all comes back down to dealing with cultured people so you get where you can have a good outcome. And it's pretty much solvable. That it's pretty easy to see. All you got to do is just see some person who can't answer questions, who don't keep up with anything. I'm like, okay, a dumbass nigga. You must date a fucking uncultured Keisha because you're not raising yourself anywhere above that fucking intellect. Just so that way you can keep qualifying for this shit ain't gonna do nothing but fuck your life up.
Mm.
And I don't have any respect for people like that. None.
So I would assume that, brothers who you know, have made it out of the hood, uh, just like brothers who may not have grown up in the hood, have gained some success in their lives, independently from, family, friends, or anything else. I'm assuming that you think that those brothers should just pack up and get on their rocket ship and fly on up out of here.
Yes,
Is
stay
that it?
gone.
Okay? Stay gone.
Yeah.
So no, no quote unquote giving back to the community.
Nope.
No coming back, mentoring, or none of that kind of
Nope.
nonsense.
Nope. Nope.
Listen.
Mentoring is called picking the goddamn father. You did that shit right, then we wouldn't be having all these problems. Now, if your son can't get the fractions up and shit, and I go to your house and you got, what I'm saying, the TV's babysitting them and shit, and not, actual math shit that's on YouTube for free, then that's still a parenting issue.
Hmm.
Yeah, you make parents responsible for what they actually create.
Mm.
Like if you go so far as you create a bunch of failed DNA, we just cauterize the motherfucking fallopian tubes, man. No more of this. End of this. No longer having this bullshit. Yeah, fuck
So,
this.
so if okay, let's say we do things brother MOT's way, right? The
Yeah.
successful brothers who made it out the hood and they got their shit together, they've left.
Yes.
They left all these raggedy quote unquote reptiles alone. Um, they're going to other places and they're dealing with other women and they're raising
Yes.
children apart
Yeah.
from all this nonsense we've been talking about tonight. How long before you start to see the change? What time
25
period are
years.
okay?
25 years from the time that everybody gets on board. Right now, you see the actual percentages are beginning to rise for actual like the younger generation don't know shit about the idea of wanting to be in a game or any of that other shit because the idea and the culture is so far removed that most people don't even remember that shit. Even for my younger like nieces and nephews, they're like, people used to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, a grand majority of people used to, and it's like it's so hard for them to understand that. But since they're not trying to focus on that type of outcome, that you're not going to get out of, you just have better and better outcomes in larger and larger percentages. But it's obviously never going to be 100% of people. Like we're not going to come to this level of where we're like Asians or Jewish people to where they have a whole system that kind of protects them from the actual system itself. Mainly because they're such a tight knit group. You can't have a tight knit group of felons and people who believe in the hustle and ball to you fall bullshit. Like you can't create a community out of that. No, you
Yeah,
can't
that's true.
create a community out of culture warrior PhDs. Can't
Mm.
create a community out of men who want to help broken black boys so that way they can end up fucking their whole ass mama. Like you can't build a community full of bottom feeding pieces of shit like that. You can't. It's already been
Mm.
tried. We already have 50 years of trying this shit that way. It didn't fucking work.
So, do you think that that element, well, we know it's made its way into media because everybody's on media now. But do you think that that element has affected the quote unquote space that we inhabit? Has it
Yes,
infiltrated it to the point where it's had a negative effect on it, or is it just something
it is.
that's here?
It is, but they're not even the real people. They're just providing a simulacrum of shit that didn't work. Like, no, it's one thing to have a hammer that doesn't work. It's another thing to have a fake hammer of plastic that literally doesn't fucking work. Like, these are like the plastic hammer niggas. Like, they're literally providing a simulacrum of a failed culture and trying to revive it because of the other men who respect that so-called sighting of that cultural anomaly that never worked. Like there is no low churn rate for OGs. You have to consume the entire environment to create an quote unquote OG or an actual person who've actually dealt with those type of things. So
Mm.
the success rate of that, like you don't see Freeway Ricky Ross or any of these people who actually sold a real amount of fucking drugs online trying to act like street dudes are winning. Ain't nobody doing that type of shit. No culture is fucking doing that. Except for ours, because our culture don't function. So that's what it is.
So So do you think that there's a lot of people coming through that are on media who are coming in underneath the guise
Yes.
of being what the quote unquote Freeway Ricky Ross was? Is that what we have here?
No, I mean like you have like Queen and Slim niggas trying to act like they Freeway Ricky Ross. Like
Mm.
like dudes who actually live the Queen and Slim lifestyle. Just true to heart bitch ass niggas who don't run anything, who's easily swayed by a woman's fucking opinion. Like those are the type of dudes that you have here,
Wow.
for the most part. I mean, but
S-
people are here to hang out, man. Let's just be honest, man. People are here to hang out. They're here to have fun. They're here to escape reality. They only wanted to come
Yeah.
to an actual place that was already built to corrupt it and turn it into what the fuck they wanted to turn it into. So that's what it was. So when people talk about, oh, you can't kick people out of space, like, oh, okay, so why the fuck did you come to the manosphere only to be talking shit about the exact manosphere that gives you the right to have a fucking platform in the first place? Don't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I can understand that because I mean, let's be honest, man. I'm a true believer, and people know I've said this many times that 80% of this shit is actually just entertainment. You got the other 20% that's actually valuable. You might learn something, but I think it's primarily entertainment, and I think the fact that there's so much entertainment here on media, not just YouTube, but the internet itself. Um, the fact that it's primarily entertainment allows anyone to come and you
Oh
know
no,
do
it's
whatever.
good. It's just that don't come to the manosphere. Do That's what I'm saying. And it's like I know it gives a lot of unscrupulous people the idea that they could just do whatever the fuck they want to. It's just like don't come to the manosphere and do the shit. That's it. Know the history of what you're trying to be a part of. Like we have like the like the senior bitch ass niggas, like like your dating coaches and all that kind of shit. A manosphere wasn't supposed to be a place where these people were supposed to formulate and be here,
Mm.
they're against the fucking mission. It's like literally trying to set up a fucking liquor store that people have to walk through on the way to get to the back of the liquor store, which is the AA fucking meeting. Why would you have them walk through a liquor store to come to an AA meeting in the back? Like, what kind of shit is that?
So should we all get on the should we all kind of get on the train and shut these people out? I mean, should these people be just shut out? Should we not talk to them? Should we
No, I
not?
mean, you know, I don't think you can because most niggas are too economically compromised to even be on the straight and narrow. But the type of code that niggas want is the protection of the Catholic Church. Like the
Mhm.
kind of universal silence, so that way they could run their grift and their game on people and all that kind of shit. But don't invest anything into any type of progress. But just want people to actually just be a part of the shit that they want to be a part of. So yeah.
So so what you're saying is if we are allowing certain people to, I guess, be around, kind of linger in the quote unquote
Yeah.
space, that means that we're, in a sense, we're inviting whatever, whatever BS you're talking about, we're inviting it in. So eventually you're going to get more of it coming in, right? If you're
Yeah,
if
like
you're if you invite a little
for
bit in.
example, a guy who you let on your platform and protect called Lil Big Nate. That guy's too fucking stupid to be in this fucking space to have a goddamn platform. Too stupid, and he don't want to debate any issues, but he have all this cultural shit to say to people all the time, and somehow he always talking about this liberal black woman. But somebody this fucking stupid obviously don't qualify for conservative women because he's not around conservative women and he don't even have them up on his panels and all that kind of shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like giving idiots like that a fucking platform to talk and then abjectly fucking protecting them from the due criticism that they actually earn while they're in this space is one of the reasons I'm talking about it.
Yeah, but I like Nate
Just
though.
one.
I like Nate. I like Nate.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
like see me. I see. This is the thing. I think that everybody has a right to speak, right? And I don't always agree with brothers. I can say that about every brother on here. I disagree with. I see my man Nagone in the chat room. Me and Nagone, we shoot the shit on the phone, but him and I don't always agree. All right, we don't always agree. So I mean, we're never all going to agree, though, brother M.O.T. So
That's
should
not
we be?
agreeing. The dude's a piece of shit. There's nothing to agree with the piece of shit. I'm not trying to make peace with motherfuckers like that. Let's find out if you're an actual conservative. Turns out you're not even conservative. You only talk about liberal women, the left, and all this culture war shit. And it's like, look, man, we got enough of these niggas around here, man. We got enough of these dumb motherfuckers around here. It's not about agreeing. It's not about agreeing.
Mhm.
Oh, M.O.T. hold on with the criticism. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. This motherfucker would watch somebody rape somebody in this fucking community and say, watch out with the criticism. Like, I, I think a life where these niggas don't matter, where they don't exist. And it's like, it's so hard for black men to want that. It's so hard to pick up a fucking book and learn about the environment that you're in. It's so hard to pick a fucking side. It's so hard to learn the history of the fucking country that you fucking live in. So hard for some reason. But you know what? If Black Lives Matter buys a fucking mansion with other people's fucking money, black men act like they lost money on this shit. Like that's the stupid shit I'm talking about, man. It's really
Mm.
dumb. But we don't know shit
So
about basic laws in the fucking country, but we have our mouth open about fair trials and shit. Just stupid shit.
wow. So if certain people are here, all right, and they
Yeah,
talk about
retards.
certain certain things that they talk about, you think that they shouldn't be talking about it, right?
No,
So
I mean,
I mean,
just don't give dumbass niggas platforms. That's the fucking problem. It's kind of like when Candace Owen is on TV and you don't moderate the goddamn panel, and you got this lunatic just talking about all types of shit, and nobody moderates the fucking panel. It makes it look like they won when you don't control the fucking actual decorum that happens on the fucking space. So now the people who actually win the actual, well, not win, who actually get more of a say than other people are people who transgress against others. And you know that they fucking do this shit, and you just keep allowing them to keep coming back up on panels over and over and over again. And then we claim the shit and we laugh it off as fucking entertainment. But the shit is really not entertaining if you invite stupid motherfuckers and like these AB media niggas onto their goddamn panel. It's a fucking disgrace. When you talk about black progress and you bring these dumbass niggas on the panels and shit, it's a fucking crying fucking shame. G's with a PhD, all that type of goofy ass shit. It's a fucking shame. It's a disgrace.
Oh
That's
man,
what
now
I'm
you
saying.
going. But brother M.O.T. Now you know there. I'll say again, there's a lot of people on here that have disagreements. So I mean, if
Good.
we if
Bring them
we
out. Let's talk about it.
if we
Let's
but
talk about the results and outcomes.
if we keep everybody off of our pages that we have disagreements with, we
No, it's
probably
not
won't be
disagreements.
we wouldn't
It's
be
not
bringing
disagreements.
anybody on. We wouldn't be
It's
bringing
not
anybody on.
disagreements. It's not
So what is it
disagreements.
then? What
It's
is it
not
then?
disagreements. It's kind
Because
of
you
like
have
this.
okay, go ahead.
It's not a
Go ahead.
disagreement for a person to be a grift and fucking shine. That's not no fucking disagreement. That's a personality character defect that you're
Hmm.
bringing onto your panel to talk about shit in a one-sided fucking format, and you don't moderate the fucking panel, and you don't allow any pushback against the bullshit. Listen, I'm definitely not going to argue with somebody about the merits of fucking child rape. I just won't show up to a conversation like that. Because clearly a conversation like that shouldn't even be had, let alone being defended against or for. Like, it's just that some conversations shouldn't even be had. But like I said, it's a lot of unmedicated motherfuckers around this bitch. Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them, man.
but but those same people that you speak of that you say shouldn't be on people's channels and streams, some of those people actually have a following.
I
So
know. I know. Like,
it
like, like, this is what I'm saying. We don't need to be growing the dumb nigga numbers. We
mhm.
don't need to be growing the dumb nigga numbers. Dumb niggas are multiplying within the manosphere. There ain't fucking businessmen coming to the manosphere, dude. You got like rapping attorneys and all types of goofy shit going on around here, man. It's like
rapping rapping attorneys.
I'm serious, man. Dude, I'm telling you, man. All these cases go on. This motherfucker do no legal fucking analysis. You can't make this shit up, man.
Well, isn't it to be expected though when you have so many different brothers in a place that you're going to have thousands, if not tens of thousands of different types of personalities, different types of
No,
people from different backgrounds, people from, different parts of the world. I mean, it's pretty much a mixed bag. The internet is it not?
it's not a mixed bag. You have a bunch of retarded niggas who shouldn't be online, who say outlandish fucking things just to get a fucking rise out of people, and then you got motherfuckers who just put them up on platforms because they think the shit's fun and funny, and then you got the people who actually want progress. Those are two different people.
Hmm.
Everybody's talking
Well,
about colorism. Everybody's still doing content on the black fucking woman. It's stupid as fuck. It don't make any sense. It really doesn't.
Well, that puts us back in our 80-20 conversation where, you have that 20% of media that is actually valuable. You can learn something from it. It's productive, it's constructive. The other 80%, I mean, let's be honest, is primarily entertainment. So you're
Correct.
you're
And,
going
and and
you're
and the reason why that is because most people are stupid as fuck. That's why. They're trying to make the grand majority of failed black America and mostly white America happy as fuck. Like most governments would even control the amount of dumb shit that goes on within their society. So that way there isn't this big ass fucking problem. But not here. Like that's the problem. You have to have a control mechanism. It's like in the military, there are minimum fucking standards for everything. Push ups, setups, PT, height, weight. restrictions, all that type of shit. There's standards. But it's like, and I wouldn't say it's 80-20. I would say it's probably about 95-5 at this point.
but isn't that the thing though, brother M.O.T? You
No, I mean, but
have
it's indicative of how stupid people are. Not, yeah,
Yeah, if
in
you
general.
got okay, I say it's 80-20, you say it's 95-5, right? So you
Yeah,
talking about if you're saying that, you're saying that 5% of this is actually decent and productive, right? So the other 95% is primarily entertainment, amusement, whatever you want to call it.
sure.
But that being the case, if 95% of it is like amusement and entertainment, that means there's a market for it. So is it,
Yeah.
it isn't part of the problem the damn market and not so much of the people who feed the market?
It's that too. It's kind of like how most dumb people talk about how black men need to be creating more businesses within the black community when people do, when the clientele don't respect black business owners. They respect every
Mhm.
other type of business owner other than black people. So yes, the clientele is the problem here. So so what I'm talking about is staying away from the clientele. That's why I'm like the SYSBM shit because I don't like seeing uncultured reptiles at all. Period. I don't even want to be around the shit, especially my personal life. Oh,
Wow.
I cannot stand that shit. I hulk out and beat a motherfucker to the ground if I ever even witness that shit. It's too much to even be around.
So, well, if we're talking about, the progress of black people,
Yes.
that market that's there for the 95% of the entertainment and amusement and you know uh buffoonery. If the market is there for that, don't we have to also change the market? We can't just
No, it's
change.
an individual decision for you to be in the marketplace. Like anybody can be a part of a marketplace. Like that's what I'm talking about this black sociopath shit that you're actually talking about. That since there's a market for it, I'm just going to engage in it, regardless of how good or bad it is. Then I'm going to claim like I give a shit about the outcomes of black people, but I keep up fuckery and bullshit all the time. Like we have that kind of duality of mind where actually economically compromised fucking men actually want to keep up bullshit for their own profit margin while simultaneously trying to throw other men under the fucking bus so that way they can keep their fucking position. So you can't have both of those things at the same time. Both of those things are choices. Like me, I'm not gonna have a counseling session talking to broken women about a motherfucking thing. I want them to fucking suffer and starve for their fucking choices. I'm happy about where they are. I'm not trying to give them another type of fucking man that they don't qualify for. I'm never gonna do that. I'm not gonna do
Mm.
that. Nah.
Well, unfortunately, and I've been around a while because I'm an old Negro myself. And unfortunately, throughout black society, that there's not just a market for foolery and nonsense and entertainment and amusement. There's also a big market for hope. So
No, those people can't be saved. I'm okay with those people. Like I said, just don't hire them. Just don't hire them. Because if you see them with a brand new, newly minted reptile, don't fucking hire them.
mm, but like I said, I mean, you got people who are in the market for hope. So of course there's going to
Hey,
be people
hey,
selling it. People are
hey,
going to
good for
sell
them.
what people want, right?
And guess what? DMX was in the market for the drug that he was fucking selling. And guess what? He kept taking that shit till his fucking head exploded. Just because somebody was in the market for giving him what the fuck he want doesn't mean that you gotta fucking go off and sell the shit. Now his fucking deal is gonna get life in prison. That's what I'm saying. You gotta choose not to do this shit. No, you're not a capitalist, by the way. No, you're not a capitalist. You're a fucking lunatic. Yes, there's a market for child porn out there. If you sell that
Yeah.
shit, you should go to jail as well. It's the same shit. Like you have to think about what the fuck you're trying to get the result out of before you get invested in the shit. And guess what? Legitimate business people like myself don't team up with niggas like that. Niggas like that are really on their own shit. They can only be around fellow scamsters who think that type of shit. There ain't no legitimate business motherfucker gonna do business with somebody who have a fucked up product like that. Because see,
Mm.
most of the hangout niggas, which is most of the niggas on YouTube, wish they could produce any kind of way. So they think any type of way a person is quote unquote getting a hustle on gives them fucking idea, and they get hope too that actually not legitimately producing is somehow going to turn into a means of production that they can call themselves a businessman by attaching themselves to later on. It doesn't work out. We got the actual results. It doesn't work, but that's where we at with it.
Mm. So where do you see media going in the next, say, year, 2 years? Where are we going here?
No,
Where are
it's
we
where
headed?
individuals. It's where individuals are going. Because if you keep trying to follow trends, you're going to be a failed person with no definition of yourself. I mean, this media is going to go in a direction it's going to keep going because you're going to have more and more black women who need excuses said to them about how infinite choice that they actually abused, because that's what they did. They did abuse infinite choice. It's somehow not their fault. Kind of like the bullshit that Umar Johnson tried to pull, on that shit. And he gets universally no criticism. Why? Pandering to black women. There should be grounds for fucking like getting your ass kicked, pandering for these motherfuckers. Selling hope to these motherfuckers should be grounds for getting your ass kicked. Should be grounds
Yeah,
for it.
cause I saw, I saw the Dr. Umar thing. And I know Dr. Umar. I mean, I've spoke with the man. I've met with him a couple times. I've interviewed him in person. He's actually been on my stream quite a few times. I've dealt with Dr. Umar ever since I was back in radio, so I'm very familiar with Dr. Umar. Like I said, I've met him in person, talked to him in person, interviewed him in person before, all of that. But and I've supported him too. I've wrote him a check in the past, to help him with the school and all that kind of stuff. But besides all of that, I've also told him, to his face, that I don't often agree, with some of the things that he says and does. And this is one time that I am in disagreement with the brother, because I'm a true believer that there's nothing wrong with people telling other black people the truth. Um,
Sure.
I mean, you can say, maybe y'all don't want to listen to this truth, but once you start telling people to not tell other people the truth, I think you're kind of overstepping, your bounds a bit. I mean, because I'm a true believer that if you're someone who's telling people the truth and people are willing to listen to that truth, I don't think those people should be disparaged about telling said truth. So, I'll say this. I'll say that just maybe his intentions are good, but I just think his execution is bad on this one.
Yeah,
I
but we're trying to execute it on women that are not viable. like you can't mean to talk about interracial marriage and you ain't you ain't in a fully fledged black relationship with all these so called good women around here. Like we need to get out of the business of having people who quote unquote, oh, I believe in marriage. Okay, motherfucker, where's your ring at and shit? Now it makes sense for a guy like you, a person who's married, other people in the space who's married, to have the marriage conversation, but to have other people try to trap people with some of the worst options on the planet, pandering to those people? Oh hell
the
no, man.
worst
No,
options on the planet. Yeah, I
no.
mean, well, I'm with you there, brother M.O.T, because I often talk about this. We got a lot of people who are, and it's ironic that, he was saying this in his video, how people are unqualified for X, Y, and Z. And, you have a lot of people who are unqualified talking about things that they're unqualified to talk about.
Yeah,
Um,
little
you
big Nate.
know, I don't want this to turn into Nate's
Yeah,
my man. I don't want this to turn into about Nate, because me and Nate, we all right. That's my dude. So,
all right.
you know, I, besides besides people like Dr. Umar, besides people the other people that speak on things that they're not qualified for. For instance, I always talk about how you have certain people up here who talk about manhood, they talk about
Oh my God.
masculinity, they talk about code, they talk about all this shit, but meanwhile they're living in grandma's freaking basement. It's like and other things, like you have people who talk about relationships and marriage and all this kind of stuff, but they don't have a relationship, they don't
That's what I'm
have a
saying,
marriage,
man.
they don't
It's just
have a
crazy.
so I'm with you there. I'm with you there, that there's a lot of people who come on here and talk about shit that they're not qualified to talk about. Now, maybe they're qualified in their own mind, and I would never tell somebody not to listen to certain people, but what I will say is I'm not listening to these people.
Oh hell no,
I
man.
will
I
say
can't
that.
waste my time on some of this shit. Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
listening
because
to
if you
them, so
because if you make it a lifestyle and try to laugh it off as entertainment, that I am specifically going to go to the wrong person to watch the wrong people look for the right answers. I can't do that shit. I cannot do that shit. I can't do it because I know what's going on here. Like I know that yeah, nah.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, and I've caught heat over this, right? Because, for instance, you're into transportation, right? You're a trucking guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If I want to know about trucking, would I go to the guy who's a cashier at Target, or would I go to brother M.O.T? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I mean,
Actually, actually,
if I
no. If you look at the views, you got basic women who are fives and sixes getting 100K views, talking about bullshit with trucking, not even tangible information. Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. So trust me, it's listen. Here's the thing about Black America. Dude, if you provide comfort for fucking idiots, you don't need credibility.
mm,
You don't need credibility if you comfort fucking morons. Like, and that's kind of where this shit's at, man.
yeah, well, I can agree with that. I mean, you can, if you like like brother David Carroll says a lot. Brother David Carroll says the only thing you got to do to really appease to black people is defend a crazy, ridiculous black pathology. That's all you have to do. If you defend these ridiculous black pathologies, I mean, people will love you. You could be lying your ass off the whole time. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything true. But if you're
Yeah,
defending these
or else.
ridiculous pathologies, you're a hit.
Yeah, or yeah, or else. I mean, in like in that guy's case, you can come up with idiotic pathologies of your own and not even organize for any type of outcomes by itself, and that becomes a pathology as well.
Mm,
A lot of people think they're conservative because that guy's a conservative. He's not no fucking conservative.
wow, wow.
Yeah,
So, but we as black people, many of us have quote unquote, like conservative views on certain things as a collective. Do we not? We have some conservative views. I know, the bulk of us, vote Democrat and all that kind of stuff, but we actually have some legitimate conservative views when it comes
yeah,
to certain things.
yeah.
Do
Well,
we not?
yeah. Well, if only the white conservatives can actually agree with us, but they seem to be the enemy of us. This is why we can't have the kind of shit because our conservatism and their conservatism, they're trying to conserve something very different than what we're trying to conserve.
Hmm. I mean, but I don't think it's ever going to be I don't think it's ever. Well, I'm not going to live to see it. Let me say that. I don't think I'm going to live to see a time where uh, the bulk of black people take on a conservative kind of conservative kind of outlook on things. I think black people are number
What's the
one too
conservative outlook?
addicted to.
What do you mean by conservative outlook on things?
Well, not so much a conservative outlook, but I don't think there's ever going to be a time where the bulk of black people follow a conservative a conservative view, especially politically. I don't think black people will ever vote in mass for any conservative candidate, whether it be at the federal level, the state
As they
level, or the
shouldn't.
local
As they
level.
shouldn't.
I don't
As
think
they
that's
shouldn't.
ever going to happen.
As they
I
should
don't.
not. The conservative party don't give a fuck about black people. Why the fuck would the majority of black people vote for a Steve King out of fucking what is that, Long Island? Why the fuck would black
Hmm.
people be interested in a guy like that? Like, no, black people are never gonna vote for a straight white conservative who at their base don't even give a shit about the actual existence of black people. Now, look, the country would work well if they had just had equal protection under the law and made sure the government worked efficiently and effectively. There's a group of people, white conservatives, who make sure that don't happen. And because they make sure that shit don't happen, that's the reason why black people will never vote for fucking conservative. Unless you got fake and dumb people who think they're actually conservative when they clearly are not conservative at all because the liberal woman is their actual destination point and their actual ticket to an online fucking paycheck. Yeah, like, listen, the women ain't conservative, therefore the men ain't conservative. There are literally no conservative women out here, none. And if they are, they're not around the black conservatives in this space. They're not even here.
Mm. So, do you think that liberal Democrats, do you think they have black people's best interests in
Yeah,
mind at all? You
if you
do?
if you put both plans down and you look at both plans together about the actual priorities of the budget, and that's what I'm talking about, the priorities of the budget and the actual economic outcomes during the actual administration. It's always been the Democrats that have the best interests of everybody at heart, and the conservatives don't. For instance, right now, what is Mitch McConnell trying to organize to do on his side? He's trying to stop the actual $2 trillion spending bill to get America back on track. And he really haven't organized anything in his own right while he was an actual senator himself. So you can't expect black people to vote for a fucking Mitch McConnell who don't even give a shit about black people. And oh, okay, let's go to the House. Kevin McCarthy, does he seem like a guy that black people overall want to fucking go vote for? Hell no. Like, most of these fake black conservatives in this space don't even cover Marjorie Taylor Greene or the Boebert lady from wherever the fuck she's from. Because that's the party that they're actually trying to get black people to vote for. And yes, there's an actual party who's passing voter restrictions in, in states. That's not the liberal party. It's the conservative party who's doing that. No coverage by conservatives. But you expect people in large amounts to vote for these people? Dude, that shit's never gonna happen.
Mm. Do you think that these
You can't.
policies that these Republicans are trying to interact? Do you think they're rooted in some degree of discrimination and racism? Is it rooted there? Is that the nucleus of these policies?
Yeah, I understand why. They're trying to conserve their particular power within the country. The only thing they are now is about a party that's about retaining power by any means necessary, not about actually building shit other than a fucking wall that don't mean shit. You can stop
Mm.
immigration tomorrow without a wall. The only thing you have to do is say this: we catch an immigrant working in your goddamn factory. We gon' we're gonna put the CEOs aside, and then we're gonna have the Air Force go through with a strafing run. You do that shit two or three fucking times, and you won't have a problem with immigration. The problem is most of these people use immigrant labor, from farmers to everybody else. Everybody complains about the same immigration that they actually need to run their goddamn business for more and more profit. So I don't. It's just not an issue.
Yeah. Me, I've never done it because I'm
Well,
too concerned with that shit. I'm too concerned with that shit coming back to haunt me, man, down the road. So I've never entertained that shit. I
correct,
mean,
correct, correct.
hell
Black,
no.
they're gonna come after your motherfucking ass. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you're
ain't
black. They're
trying
going to come
to.
after you.
Yeah, hell no.
They're
I
going to come
don't want
after you
that shit.
if you're black.
and and
They
I
do it every
and
single
I've
time.
had people say, "Oh man, hire some Mexicans or something." I don't know about that one, boy, because this motherfucker might not be legal. No, I don't want that shit coming down the pipe, boy. No, I'm
Just wait
trying to
till
build.
yeah, just wait till you're responsible and that person not ASC certified and he work on some shit and some people
Yeah.
end up getting killed. Yeah.
Yeah, he do something happen. He run into somebody with the truck or some shit like that.
Oh,
No, no. That's one problem I don't plan on having in the foreseeable future. Um, but far as the immigrants go, though, right? I am a believer that a lot of the immigrants have an impact on the work prospects of black men because I see it in the state that I live in.
I
Um,
don't. I don't. I don't. And I don't give a fuck about people stuck in minimum wage jobs either. At the end of the day, we should be way, way, way ahead of these fucking people. When they come here, they ain't got no connections and all that kind of shit. You can't be letting people who just came here, and I don't like this artificial bottom shit. I can't stand that shit. We should be way better than these motherfuckers. We have way more reason to fight and actually do shit for ourselves. But if they're just preoccupied and giving this shit back to the domestic counterpart that don't give a fuck and not moving on to anybody else and just wanting to stay at the fucking bottom and want there to be an artificial protected bottom, like, no, man, the business cycle is going to keep continuing. The only thing you can do is better yourself and put yourself in a higher position. That's what we were supposed to be doing the entire time.
mm.
Not
So
not having an
you don't
artificially protected bottom.
well you don't think that maybe they're just better connected and better organized with each other. That's why they're able to do some things and hold some positions that brothers aren't necessarily holding. They're
Yeah, I mean,
because
but like
I deal
black
with a
men don't know
lot of
how to
people.
organize anyway. Like
And
black men
I
don't know
see a
how to
lot
organize.
of Latinos with jobs that if you go back 20, 30 years, brothers would have had those jobs. Brothers would have been the roofing guys and the landscapers and the electrical guys and the
Yeah,
plumbers and the
yeah,
masons
yeah.
but
You're
now
right,
you see Latinos on those crews. You
and
see
there's a
mostly
reason for that.
Latinos on those trucks.
And there's a reason for that. See, the rise in the nigger contingent by the fucking vaginal t-shirt cannon and the penile sprinkler system of fucking Pookie have fucking the nigger farms have pumped out a lot of fucking ineffective fucking children. That's the
A
fucking
nigga
problem.
farm.
That's what happened.
He said nigger farms. so so what you're saying is because of the nigger farms that the Latinos have been able to have been able to obtain a foothold in
Yes,
certain geographical areas as far as work is concerned.
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a numbers
And the,
game. If you can't formulate um, productive families, anybody who come in with a better family structure who's just slightly more organized than you is going to fucking destroy you. Period. That's what you see. It's not hard. It's incredibly
wow.
easy. It's fucking math.
And the crazy thing, I can't even disagree because I see it a lot in my travels, and I don't just see it in my state because I do work in other places too, like South Carolina and stuff like that, and I
Yeah.
see the same shit. So I can't even give you no pushback on that shit because of what I see anecdotally. I mean, it just is what it is. But it bothers me though, and it's crazy because I be riding down the road sometime, man. On the way to a job, man. And when I see a construction crew of brothers, man, I get happy. I'd be
Me too,
actually
man.
excited. I'd be like,
Like a
oh shit,
motherfucker.
look at that crew of brothers. You know, and it shouldn't be that way, man. I shouldn't get so excited because I see a crew of brothers. That should be the
I
fucking
stopped pull
norm.
over and talk to him. I stopped pull over and talk to him. See how they done this shit. That's what I do. I want to know how this shit happened, man.
Ah, man, that shit should be the norm, man. That shouldn't be some damn anomaly that had me looking and damn near wrecking my damn truck because I'm like, oh shit, look at all those brothers. That's a crew of brothers right there. You know, I be riding sometimes. Sometimes I don't even be working. You know, I be out with my wife. You know, we may be going to
Yeah.
lunch or something. And I'd be like, oh shit, look. A fucking crew of brothers on the goddamn construction crew or the asphalt crew or the, you know, the electrical crew.
Yeah.
Man, it'd be 4-5 brothers out there, man. That shit had me like, damn. It's like seeing Bigfoot and shit. It's just like
But
seeing
it's like,
Bigfoot.
and it's like, that's what the black church used to do. It used to have like all these kind of places and feeder mechanisms where people move from one place to another to another to another like that. And that's what I meant, like the void in leadership. And then you have like the fucking overproduction of the goddamn nigger farms, and now you can't. Now we have a bunch of people who's not even socialized to even like productive motherfuckers because they got their nose so far off this bitch's ass, you know, and that's what you got. You know, you don't have men who actually can work together like that. So it's kind of hard to work with, man. Overall.
Yeah, well, I'd have to agree because, you know, we often hear on the internet about how y'all excuse the sirens. I don't know what the hell's going on up the block, y'all. Hopefully ain't nobody dead. We often talk about how, you know, blue collar, hardworking brothers, you know, aren't seen as anything. They aren't seen as a person with value or worth, you know. And I think a lot of other black men also think the same way. They think lesser of a brother who's actually, you know, a hardworking blue collar brother. You know, I know, man, I've been a blue collar brother, man, for like 30 years. You know, that's just who I am. And a lot of
And you
people
can make
don't
some serious
see
money doing
the
what you
value.
do.
You goddamn
Make some
right you
serious
can, man.
money.
Shit, the guys that work for me make serious money. So that
My brother
kind of
owns a
lets you know where
shop,
I'm
and
at.
that motherfucker routinely pulls down an enormous fucking bag every fucking year. And I'm like,
I'm telling you, people underestimate it, but I tell people all the time, man, like shit, man. The people who work for me probably make more money than you do.
yeah. Hey,
But
you know, like, how you gonna pay that $150 an hour if you don't pay the motherfuckers at least fucking 35 of it, man?
exactly. You know, so I mean, but people have been, and I talked about this. I was on ODJ did a collab with me a few weeks ago, and we were talking about this on ODJ's channel. And what I think people have been groomed to think is that, you know, there's no money in blue collar work. But see, I never thought that way because I was raised by a blue collar guy. All right.
Yeah.
My father did landscape architecture. He did landscapes, hardscapes, you know, so I was raised by that guy. So I came up as a kid knowing the value of hard work, getting out there, making your own money, saving, putting stuff aside, knowing how to operate equipment, know how to read blueprints, know how to sketch, know how to build jobs, know how to spec jobs, know how to inspect. You know, I came up doing that shit as a kid. So I've always had a respect for work, you know, and I think that's part of the problem. That's why these immigrants are able to come in and get this foothold in certain places, man, because see, they have a respect for work too. They understand it. And I think a lot of us as black men don't necessarily understand the concept of work. Therefore, we don't seek those type of occupations. We don't seek, those type of jobs, or we just don't see the value in it, and primarily I think it's because of the people we're raised by. But that's just me. So
Yeah. But here's the dynamic behind that, though. It's not that there's no respect towards it. There's no respect towards it. That's what it is. And respect is something you have to culturally hand down. Like what is respected here is social currency and clout.
mhm,
That's the level of respect that other cultured people don't give a fuck about. They give a goddamn about outcomes. Like social currency and respect is just hee hee ha ha ho shit that don't lead anywhere. And it's like when
mhm,
people come in with a different attitude towards work, they have a cultured women that is cultured and prepared to actually raise a family versus take all your shit and leave. You goddamn right, they're gonna win every time. They're gonna
mhm,
win every time, regardless of how the woman looks. It's about how she functions and how she fucking operates. And if she's not on the fucking market, like these men routinely try to socialize these women to infinitely be on the market and not be held to no account, so that way they can end up with some sex at some point, which is what this whole
mhm,
game bullshit is about. But it's that's what it is. You have two different cultures, two different end goals. Like the most of the end goal for the black guy is to get him the baddest bitch temporarily that's gonna take him for all this shit eventually, and then she's gonna go back on the market and do the same thing to a whole bunch of other guys. And that's just what the cultural outcome is. There's no cultural plan here because plans come with a level of respect to them as long as you adhere to them. Like our whole
mhm,
overall entire plan is to fail, is to not follow business people and none of that shit. Their job is just to consume the environment and just try to get nigga money out the environment and claim you're a fucking capitalist because you're capitalizing off of a problem that you shouldn't even be a part of versus building your own shit and actually competing with the dominant fucking society. This is why most of these people stay closely tied to black America and they really can't do well anywhere outside of the woman's opinion or this fucked up ass environment for the most part.
yeah, yeah. I'd have to agree, man. I think a lot of times, a lot of people, man, I think we're too content with, collecting the nigger pennies, man, as opposed to, trying to get out there and really get something and have something and be able to leave somebody something, and all that kind of stuff. I don't think a lot of times we don't think past that. Like I said, I was raised by a blue collar guy. So, I've always understood the value of work. I mean, my old man had me out there working with him when I was like 7 years old, pushing
Yeah,
a wheelbarrow and using the post hole digger and shit, when I was like 7 years old. So, I came up very young understanding what work was, and what I think happens is a lot of people they don't come through the portal with that understanding. They come through with the entitlement shit, and everybody's supposed to give them something, and life's supposed to be easy. And if it ain't easy, it's because of the white folks and all this some kind of nonsense. See, I didn't have that luxury coming up as a kid. Like I said, I was raised by a hardworking man. He pulled 10, 12, 14 hour shifts for like most of my young life. I mean,
yeah.
most of my young
That's the
life,
same
my
thing my
dad was
dad
on
did.
that 12, 14 hour shifts. He went to work during the week before I got up and came in after I was in bed, and the only time I saw him was on the weekends. And on the weekends, he would have my ass out there working. So,
Yeah. My dad was the same way. And it was like this. Look, you're gonna have to catch him. You got to catch him.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, look, and if he come off the road, you know what he's doing when he get off the road? He working on a whole bunch of motherfucking shit lined up for him to fucking do. You want to hang out? All right, we're gonna be
mhm,
back here working. All
yeah,
right,
yeah,
we're gonna be back here
yeah,
working.
yeah.
I'm telling you,
He
shit, you
come
better
home.
pick up a wrench or a fucking
Oh yeah,
lawnmower or something. Shit, you gonna have to do something while you're back here.
hell
Back here, we
yeah.
work back here.
I remember Friday nights, man. Shit, when my old man came home, shit, when he got home, you know what we spent that evening doing? Getting shit ready for a Saturday morning. Because he had your
Yeah.
ass up at 5:30.
Yeah.
Getting shit ready for tomorrow morning. Because 6 o'clock, we rolling out. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I grew up, man. I tell people all the time, man, other kids filled out in the summertime, playing ball and swimming and all that shit. Man, I filled out by working. I spent my whole damn summers, working with my father the whole summer vacation. All right.
Oh yeah, man. Like,
He
oh yeah.
might let me have a Sunday off where I didn't do shit. But man, 6 days out the week, you was on that truck, you was humping the wheelbarrow, you was toting bricks, you was helping him mix cement, you was digging holes, you was planting trees, and by the time you was tall enough to drive, your ass was driving one of them dump trucks.
Yes.
You was operating the skid steer. You was doing that kind of shit when you was like 11, 12 years old, man. I tell people all the time, I was 12 years old, man. I'll be driving fucking dump truck with goddamn 4 yards of soil on it, 4 yards of goddamn gravel and bluestone and shit on the back of it. I'm
Oh yeah.
driving it, 12 years old, dumping it too, spreading it, all that kind of shit, man. So, I look at dudes now, especially young dudes who, got this thing where, they don't want to work, they want to sell CDs and baseball caps, t-shirts out the trunk of the car and shit. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I
Goofy shit.
yeah, I guess that shit is fine if it's paying your bills and shit, but I mean, maybe we live in a different time now. I get that. We live in a different time. We live in a different economy, and it's not necessarily that you have to bust your ass every day, to make a decent dollar. But I think what often happens is people are so turned off by work. All right. Still, they so turned off by work that they'll try to do any goddamn thing to keep from doing it, even if it ain't nothing but selling goddamn candy and whatever the hell they doing, anything to keep from actually getting their goddamn hands dirty. I think that's the time we're in now, and that's fine. How you make your bones is how you make your bones, but there's nothing like having a skill. All right. There's nothing like having a skill, because as long as you have a skill, you'll never be a broke ass Negro. All right. You'll never be a broke Negro as long as you have a skill.
You
Never.
will. You will still be a broke ass Negro. Actually, it depends on who you give the shit to. Like if you fucking with uncultured Keisha, nigga, you gonna be a broke ass nigga no matter what happens. You can't outskill her, man. Can't do it.
well, let me rephrase it. You'll never be broke if you utilize your skill properly, and you're not
Yeah.
utilizing your skill properly if you're getting out there and you're busting your ass and you're giving all your money to her and her 3 kids that don't belong to you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
You're definitely gonna be a broke Negro if you're doing that shit. But if you utilize your skills the correct way, you'll always be out there. You'll always be able, even if you can't work for somebody else, if you have like a hand skill, like you're a plumber, electrician, landscaper, painter, something of that nature. If you're one of those guys, man, you're always going to be able to make some money, man. Even if you're not working for someone else, you'll be able to work, for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know quite a few brothers here in North Carolina who own pretty decent sized businesses. I know I design engines for these guys. I design mechanical and hydraulic systems for these guys. And I also do the maintenance and repair on a lot of the engines that we modify. We do 90% of the systems that we modify, that we upgrade, that we fabricate, 90% of them, we also do the maintenance and repair on them.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I mean, yeah, I know quite a few brothers who have decent size businesses. I don't mean some out of the backyard shit, where these guys have, the 5, 10 trucks with crews on the road. These dude got, 1.5 million worth of contracts per year. I know quite a few brothers here.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know a smorgasbord of them, but I know quite a few brothers down here who own pretty good sized businesses. So, I mean, it can be done, man. Shoot, there's dudes, shoot, their businesses bigger than mine. Shit, I wish I had their damn money. Shit, I wish I had their money. And it's good to see, but you don't see enough of it. It's my thing.
No,
You don't
I mean,
see enough
you
of it.
can't see it because the process isn't respected. It's only the results of the process that actually is respected, which actually makes nobody want to enter the process because this process is a long time. Like me, I was an owner operator for like a couple years, and I thought I was doing hot shit because I was making 6 figures. Then I got my fucking authority, and then I made fucking 6 figures in 3 fucking months. I felt pretty fucking stupid. The only thing that changed was the fucking paperwork and the lettering of the fucking truck. It's the only thing that
Mm,
fucking changed. And it was like,
yeah,
God damn, man, I was throwing away all this fucking money. Jesus. But again, it's pretty easy, and you see other people come right into it. But it's just that the process isn't respected, and the person you're going to end up dealing with, it doesn't respect the shit either. So it's like, if you got men the fuck off of the marketplace and they got somebody that they didn't have to keep re-engaging at a loss every single time, I think the shit will solve itself in a generation. But you got to have an actual cultural buy-in with the other people you deal with. This is why I say just deal with other fucking people, man. Leave
mm,
all of them a fuck alone. Create a new fucking paradigm where you actually control your shit, and that's just the end of it, man. Like there's nothing in the world that's gonna have me running up behind and trying to counsel this motherfucker who don't even respect infinite choice. Nah, man. I'm not even connecting myself to that type of shit. Nope.
yeah. I get it, man. Because that's the opposite of progress, of actual
It
black
is.
progress, right? That's the
This is
opposite
it. This
of
is why
that.
you have so many people who rather do that shit than go out here and legitimately produce. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Zero said, Gen Z, I quit.
Wow.
I quit. Yeah, I mean, but I think, man, and people think I oversimplify this when I say this, that I think this internet shit has a lot to do with the laziness of people, with the inability, man, to try to achieve some productivity. I think I think that this internet media shit, man, has infected a lot of people's minds and have people convinced that they can take the fucking easy way out of
Yeah.
everything, man.
Yeah,
I just truly
listen,
believe
man.
that.
Like, like, why do you think people talk about dumbass shit and lots of people show up? Like, that's what it is. It's not hard. It's literally easy as fuck. It's easy as fuck to do. But what can you do if the people ain't got enough sense to leave that shit the fuck alone?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, you got the corner store hangout niggas who got hoop dreams of being fucking KS and shit. They think that
mhm.
they're just gonna talk about this bitch. They're gonna have their viral fucking moment, and they're gonna be the man after that. And life don't fucking work that way, man.
Yeah, absolutely not, man. I mean, of course, when you think about, you know, how the meteoric rise of Brother Samuels has taken place, that's like a 1 in a million thing, man. I mean, there's
Dude,
nothing
they
wrong.
are literally
It,
chasing a lottery ticket. That is a lottery
yeah,
ticket.
yeah,
That
it's a
dude
one in
spent
a
a
million
lot of
thing.
time cultivating the perfect image to talk about shit in a way that's non-threatening, and that a situation to where they're doing most of the talking.
Yeah,
Now, these women ain't gonna get no real fucking help because these women are beyond help. that's
hmm
that's that's the key to it, and And well-adjusted women don't call the fucking show for the most part. Or the concept is that non-well-adjusted women wouldn't call a show like that because well-adjusted women wouldn't even need to be seeing shit like that because they taking care of responsibility. Now, for the other motherfuckers who think they running shit, who's like a 3 out of fucking 10, those are the people who's gonna call in trying to fight back reality and all that kind of shit. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
watch it. I'm not gonna engage in it because, yeah, somebody's gonna end up offing themselves on that fucking show after they talk to that dude, and then things gonna have to change up. But
you really think that? You think
yes,
you
I
think
do.
they're gonna leave the show and what? That they go jump off a bridge or some
Oh,
shit?
sure. Yeah, man. Some of these bitches are crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that would change things. That would probably be the only thing that could actually hurt him at this point if some shit like that
Yeah,
happened.
I'm telling you.
If some shit like that
I'm
happened.
not saying I'm looking forward to it either, but it's like, I mean, because he's literally giving them an actual avatar of some shit that don't exist. Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, quote unquote, game exists, but you got Kim Kardashian dating fucking Van Jones. Can Platinum Elite explain that shit? Like, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, bro, listen. Dudes who got this shit together is always fucking winning. Always. That's where we
Yeah,
at, man.
yeah. It's weird, but I'll say again, I mean, there are many different people, there are many different personalities, on the internet. There are many different personas, so of course there's going to be many different perspectives. Um, I, I just think there's room for everybody, but
I do too.
I just believe that certain shit I'm not going to watch, certain people I'm not going to listen to. Certain ideologies are too out there for me, as are certain pathologies are too far out there for me. But they have every right to say what they're saying. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say. We do live in a free speech world. You have the right to say whatever the hell you want to say. But I'm not listening to your shit. So that's how I hate on folks. I do hate on people, and I hate on them by not listening to their shit. That's how I hate on them. I ain't gonna be in your chat room talking shit to you. I'm not gonna
Nah,
come to
none
your
of that.
channel and then
Yeah,
nope.
none of that.
I just won't watch your shit. That's it. That's how I hate on you, by not watching your shit. That's it. But brother M.O.T, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. This was a good one-on-one. Good shit, man. Like I said, man, I don't always agree with you, man, but I do respect you, brother. I respect your ideas, and I respect the fact that you came through tonight, man. It kind of laid some things out, man. And you're always welcome up here, brother. You're always
Yeah,
welcome.
man. Like I care about the outcomes. Like me, all my shit is still based in the best outcome,
Mm-hmm.
which is what we should be working towards. But like a lot of these people are here to find acceptance. I mean, a lot of people trying to find themselves and shit. I'm like, man, fuck all that. You should have been past that shit a long time ago. But that's where we at, man. So.
It is. It is where we at, and unfortunately, that describes probably a lot more people than you think, brother.
Oh, I
A
know. I can see the shit. I can see
lot
it.
more people than you think, But I do appreciate you coming through, man. This was good stuff, man, and you know, I'm looking forward to you coming back through, man. At some point, man, you got to come around more, brother. I know
Hey,
it's certain
man.
people. I know it's certain people that come up here that you don't like, so I'm
No,
not going to
no, I'm
expect you to
cool.
come up here with certain individuals, but
Oh hell no, no. I mean, no. Let the reptiles rep, man. Just let them rep.
I let the reptiles rep. But you got to come through more, man. You got to come through more, brother.
I will, man.
All
All
right,
right,
my brother, man.
all right.
Peace.
Thanks for having me on, man. All right, later.
You got it, man. Brother M.O.T, everybody. Yeah, man. Um, Peace, Doc Phoenix. I wrote you back, man. I wrote you back. Doc Phoenix, glad you are here. Brother, you know, Doc Phoenix will be up here next week on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, you Negroes, on Ask the Doc. The one and only Doc Phoenix will be in the house. And we're going to be talking about, well, we're probably going to talk a little COVID because, you know, I did get my my final vaccine last week, my second shot, or the jab, as everyone refers to it. I did take my second jab last week. So I'm gonna have the good doc up here to talk about it, man. Because the doc is kind of one of my go-to people, boy, on this vaccine and this COVID shit. So it's gonna be good to have the doc up here next week. Yes, it is. It's been a while. But let me and then my man KIT is in the house as well, the official timekeeper of the T.P.O.T debates is in the house. So what did y'all think, man, of the M.O.T interview, man? Do y'all want to talk about it? Do y'all want to discuss it? It's still kind of early. It's only like 20 to 12. What y'all think, man? Do y'all should we discuss it or should we let it lie? Let me know. If you want to come through, y'all know what to do. Email is prophetofthought@yahoo.com. That's prophetofthought, one word, no caps, at yahoo.com. If you wish to come up and opine. So what did y'all think, man? What did y'all think of the interview? Did I ask him good questions? Were there some questions I should have asked him and didn't? Were there questions that I asked him and maybe I shouldn't have asked those questions? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Brother Zero said discuss everything, but if it's stupid, prepare for these jokes. Yeah, I know, Brother Zero. I know, man. I know. But if you want to come up, man, and discuss it a little bit, man, we got a little bit of time, man. We can chop it up for a few if you brothers like. Up to y'all. Let's hit my email and we shall discuss it. Brother M.O.T says some, excuse me, y'all. He said some very interesting things tonight, besides the bunk beds and all that kind of stuff. But he said some very interesting things. I believe Brother M.O.T's contention is that there's a lot of people who come here that, that one of their main goals is to come here and kind of mislead the people. Now, I'm not totally in agreement with all of it or with everybody. I don't think that most people come here with that. I think there are a substantial amount of people who probably come here for that, but I don't think it's everybody. I'm a true believer, but I'm the type of person I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think a lot of brothers come here because they have something they want to say. They have a message they want to get across, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent to other people. I don't really believe that most of the people that come here, they're coming here to mislead people, and it's all about money. Now, of course, for some of the people that come up here, of course, it's all about the money. Of course, I mean, I'd be a fool to think otherwise, but I don't think that I don't think that's everybody. I think some people come here, man, because they have a lot to say, and they seek people to talk to. They seek people to discuss these things with, and they also seek people to listen to. I mean, that's just what I think. And anybody that comes through that I see is new. If it's a new person, I always give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll watch them for a little while and, decide whether or not I want to continue, to watch them or not, but I'll always give people the benefit of the doubt, man. You know, I mean, I'm not going to assume you just somebody coming in here, trying to make a few dollars or, because most of us, man, we're not killing the game like that anyway. I mean, a lot of us are. There's quite a few brothers who probably make a good living off of this, man. But the rank and file of us, man, we're not getting rich off of this shit. You know, we're not getting rich off of this. I know my ass ain't. A lot of us we're probably making a few dollars, but not enough to make a living off of. So I don't think that everybody who comes in here just for that, or comes in here just to kind of, mislead folks and, fill people heads up, with a bunch of BS. Now, mind you, there's quite a few people that you see, that's why they're here, you know, that's why they're here. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is, but you're always going to have a certain degree of people, man. No matter how good something is, no matter how positive something is, you're always going to have a handful of people, man, who are going to come into that good, positive thing and make it seem not so good and not so positive. That's just the truth, you know. I mean, it's never going to be 100% of people doing what's right. I think that's the reason why we can't really do this whole collective unity togetherness thing that everyone always speaks of. I mean, it's hard to get everybody on the same page. And I'll say this. If you got 100 people somewhere, you're gonna have at least 2 or 3 people in there who are just gonna totally uh, uh derail and destroy, you know some of the productivity, all right, and make the other 97 people look bad. That's just the truth. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think this is any different. I don't think media is any different, man. I just don't. I mean, you're always gonna have people who are part of something, man, that probably shouldn't be part of it. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, and I don't think that's ever gonna change, man. So if you think everybody gonna get right and do right and act right, forget it. Forget it. Especially when you're talking about us black folks. if, if you got 50 black folks doing something, expect at least 2 or 3 of them at least to be in there doing shit that they ain't supposed to be doing. That's just the truth. Shit. If you only got 2 or 3 of them in there messing shit up, shit, you ahead of the game. All right, you're ahead of the game. If you only got 2 or 3 of them out of that 50 messing shit up, that's just what it is. And people don't like when you say those type of things, but we see it in our own lives all the time, man. We see it in our lives all the time. We see it in the people that we know. We see it in the people that we deal with. We see it in our own families. So we know it's true. We know it's true. We just don't like people talking about it. We don't. We ain't supposed to be airing our dirty black laundry, that shit that got Cosby in trouble a long time ago. We don't want to have our dirty black laundry being aired out. But we know a lot of this shit is true, man. We've seen it. A lot of us grew up around it. Shit, a lot of us participated in it. A lot of our parents participated in it. All right? So none of this shit is new or news. None of it is, man. It's not. It's not. Shit. We just don't like it. We just don't like it. We don't like it because you know why we don't like it? Because a lot of us lived it. A lot of us are living it right now. Shit, a lot of us contributed to the bullshit that we see in our society. A lot of us did. Shit, a lot of us still are. Shit, that's why it bothers us so much. I mean, come on, man. We have to be honest here. We have to be honest here, man. And I hate to say it, man, but I think a lot of us just don't want to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to take a deep look at ourselves. And that's part of being honest. Part of being honest, man, is looking at your own self, looking inward. Shoot, we talked about this, man. Shit, a couple days ago, we talked about looking inward, man. Shit, we always looking outward for the goddamn solutions, outward for the answers, outward for the solutions, man. A lot of the answers, man, to a lot of our problems, man, we have to look inward for those answers, man. Ain't nobody coming in from the outside to save us. Ain't nobody coming in from the outside to change us. And we can't expect people on the outside to look at us differently while we remain the same. That doesn't make any sense. How are we going to expect others to look at us differently when we remain the same? I mean, at some point, man, we got to want to just change ourselves. We want to, brother M.O.T talks about outcomes. You're never going to have a different outcome, man, if you're doing the same old stuff, man. How are you going to have a different outcome? How? How? And what's really troubling is that I don't think a lot of us want different outcomes. I don't think a lot of us want different outcomes, man. I think a lot of us, we want to be perceived different, but we don't want different outcomes, man. Because if we wanted different outcomes, we'd be doing different things. We want things to stay just the way they are. We satisfied with the damn status quo. Yeah, we satisfied with it. But we want everybody else in the world to treat us as if we don't want the status quo. We want everybody to treat us as if we're not satisfied with said status quo. That's where I think a lot of us are. Is it all of us? No, it's not. I don't believe that. But I think it's enough of us for it to count. And I think it's enough of us to make the rest of us look bad. And I don't think we want to get our heads wrapped around that either. That's why many of us defend this ridiculous pathologies that we see over and over and over again. That's why we defend it. That's why we defend it, man. And anybody who don't defend it, what do? We accuse them of being sellouts and coons and sambos and all this kind of nonsense. I mean, I was on Nate's stream earlier this week, and we were talking about blackness, man. I don't think anybody can define anybody's blackness. That's an inward thing. I don't think anybody can tell anybody else how black they are or how black they are not. That's the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard in my life. When you got other people telling you, oh, you ain't black because you don't do X, Y, and Z. It's absurd. It's absurd. And if you letting other people define your blackness, I don't know what to say about you, man. Because guess what? Ain't none of those Negroes living your life. I'm not. And neither are any of these other Negroes on this damn internet. Because guess what? How they trying to define your blackness, they're not even living under that same definition, guaranteed. How they're telling you you should be doing this and should be doing that. And I bet you most of the shit they're telling you that's making you not black, they asses under under that description, their asses ain't black either. Because all that shit they telling you to do, they're not doing. So that means they asses ain't black either, are they? Think about that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. I appreciate the super chats, the cash apps, and I appreciate the attendance tonight. You know, I appreciate it all, man. It's always good, man, to be up here, man, with you good folks, man. Another one in the record books. Next week, I haven't had a chance to put the thumbnails up. I'll probably have those up tomorrow or the next day. Wednesday night, man, special interview that I got going on. Miss Tawana Lawler will be here, or Pastor Tawana Lawler will be here, author, playwright. She will be telling us about the not so much talked about HIV AIDS problem within Black society, because that still exists, y'all. It's not like it has went away. It's not like it's disappeared. It still exists. And she'll be here Wednesday night and she'll be discussing it. She'll be talking about her fight with it. She tells a compelling story about how she contracted it as well. So you want to be here for that one. Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. Then Thursday night, the Ask the Doc series returns, and Doc Phoenix will be in the house. The good Doc Phoenix will be back, and we'll be talking vaccines. We'll be talking COVID. We'll be talking all kinds of medical stuff. Y'all know who Dr. Phoenix is. He'll be here Thursday night, man, on Ask the Doc series, man, and we'll be throwing down. So make sure you're here, man, Wednesday and Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. Yeah, brother Randolph. Full disclosure, she actually came on my radio show back when I was in radio. I think it was 2014, 2015. And you know, she contracted it. And I don't want to see brother Sir Randolph. I don't want to tell the story, man. I want her to come and tell the story. So that means you have to have your behind here Wednesday if you want to hear it. See how that works? I don't want to, I don't want to take the lid, man, off the job, man. I want her to tell the story, man. I know the story, but I don't want to say anything about it because I want her to I want her to tell it. I want her to tell it, brothers. She has to tell it. That's all I'm saying. But Fair use. Yeah, man, she'll be here Wednesday night, and she's gonna tell her story. She's gonna talk about how she contracted it, uh, what she's been up to. Because I haven't spoke to her since. Well, we talked through emails, but I haven't spoke to her since 2014, I think 2015. So it's been about 7 years. Yeah, it's been about 6 or 7 years since I spoke to her. So we'll see what she up to now. Uh, see what she got going on. I believe now, she has her own ministry and things of that nature. I mean, she's an author and a playwright. She's wrote a few plays. She's wrote quite a few books since then. Um, so y'all gonna get to check her out, man. She tells a compelling story, man, and it'll be right here. Because I told y'all, man, in 2021, I'm gonna be bringing y'all some people that, you know, aren't in the quote unquote space, if you will. I'm gonna be bringing you people, man, that you never seen before, man, that you'll only see here, folks. I told y'all that. Told y'all that. 2021, man, is gonna be a different deal. Y'all gonna see a lot of faces that you haven't seen before, and faces that you haven't seen anywhere else. Oh, good look on that $10 super chat, brother Sir Randall. Appreciate that, brother. He says till Wednesday proper. Yeah, you got to come through Wednesday night, man. Gonna be good. I'm telling you. Thursday gonna be good too, because Doc Phoenix gonna be here. So, I'm looking forward to seeing all your black behinds here Wednesday and Thursday night. Because y'all already know what it is. If you don't show up, you already know what I'll do. Mess around and don't show up if you want to. I will haunt your old black ass mama in her dreams. That's right. I'll be floating over mama bed tonight. I would be floating over mama's bed tonight. I'm just saying. So make sure you have your black asses here. I'm telling you. Or get mama ready to see X floating in the room. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here, man. I appreciate y'all brothers, man, sticking around tonight, man, hanging out with us, man, spending some time with us, man. It's always a pleasure, man, to be up here with you good folks, man. Once again, man, I appreciate the super chats and the cash apps. And I'm looking forward, man, to seeing y'all up in here Wednesday night. Stay tuned to the channel, man. The thumbnails should be up tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. But yeah, just stay tuned, man. You know what I mean? Stay tuned, man. And once again, man, I want to say thank y'all, man. Like I always say, man, I don't take you good folks lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. I know I say a lot of shit up here, man, that y'all don't like, man. But I don't take y'all lightly, man. I don't. I mean, I may say a lot of shit that y'all don't like, but that don't mean I take y'all lightly. It doesn't mean that I take you good folks lightly, because I do not. All right. So I just want to thank y'all, man, for sticking around and hanging out with us tonight, man. And also special shout out to my guest of honor, brother M.O.T, for coming through tonight, man, on a 101, man. Get on down there, man. Check out brother M.O.T, man. He throws down quite often. I mean, he fire streams up, man. Pretty much. I don't know if he does every day, but I think he streams pretty regular. Probably about a good 4 to 5 days out the week. So get on down there, man. Check out brother M.O.T, man. See what he got going on down there on his channel, man. Cause I'm a true believer, man, that good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, I believe everybody has a right to a voice. Everybody has a right to their opinion. And likewise, everybody has a right to watch them or not watch them. And there it is. So, with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your mind.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion.
The popular thought
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Paul. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up a paper until you read over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Black Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Weston House. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power.
Santana, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind. Your mind.
Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your mind. 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 O Open your mind.